All right, if you've ever had one of those nasty bacterial infections, a sinus infection that just won't quit, or a wicked case of strep throat, there's a really good chance you've been given one of the most common antibiotics on the planet, azithromycin. But what exactly is it, and why does it work so darn well? Well, let's dive in and break down this incredibly popular medication.
And when I say popular, I mean it. Just look at this number. In 2023 alone, doctors in the U.S. wrote over 10 million prescriptions for azithromycin. That is a staggering amount, making it an absolute staple in modern medicine.
And for a lot of us, our first encounter with this drug probably came in a little box with a catchy name. Yep, if your doctor has ever handed you a prescription for a Z-Pak, then you've taken azithromycin. So let's get right into it. What exactly is this famous Z-Pak that everyone seems to know about? Well, Z-Pak is actually a brand name. It refers to this very specific way of packaging the drug, a 6-tablet blister pack for a 5-day course. You probably remember the routine. You take 2 pills on day 1 and then just 1 pill a day for the next 4 days. And that's it. This super simple schedule is a huge reason it's so popular, and we're going to see why in just a minute.
Okay, so what is this stuff actually for? This is a crucial point. Azithromycin is not for your common cold or the flu. Those are viruses. Nope. This is a highly targeted weapon designed to take out specific kinds of bacteria.
And it's used for a whole range of common bacterial infections. We're talking about stuff like community-acquired pneumonia, that awful bacterial sinus infection that gives you so much pressure, and of course, strep throat. It's also a go-to for miserable middle ear infections in kids, and even certain types of skin infections.
So, we get it. It's popular, and we know what it's used for. But what's the secret sauce? What makes it such a convenient and powerful tool for doctors? Well, the answer is all about how it works inside your body. The best way to picture it is with an analogy. Imagine a single bacterium is like a tiny factory, and its whole job is to build proteins so it can grow and make more bacteria. Azithromycin doesn't just show up and blow up the factory. Oh no, it's way smarter. It's like a saboteur that sneaks inside and quietly shuts down the assembly line.
Okay, let's get just a little bit technical. That factory assembly line is actually a part of the bacterium called the ribosome. Azithromycin hones in on a very specific piece of it, the 50S ribosomal subunit, and basically just jams the whole machine. Once that happens, the bacteria can't make the proteins they need to live. They can't grow, they can't multiply, and the infection gets stopped dead in its tracks.
But here's the real game changer, the secret to its convenience: 68 hours. That's its elimination half-life. What that means in plain English is that it takes your body almost 3 full days just to get rid of half the dose you took. It sticks around in your system for a really, really long time, and that's what makes it so different.
And that is why the dosing is so amazing. That long half-life means you don't need to take it for very long. For pneumonia, it might be a 5-day course. For sinusitis, maybe just 3 days. And for some infections, it's a single one-time dose. The medicine is still in there, working hard long after you've taken that last pill.
Okay, so we've covered the power, we've covered the convenience. But like with any powerful medication, there's another side to the story. And we absolutely have to talk about the risks.
I mean, it all sounds a little too good to be true, right? A powerful antibiotic that's so easy to take. So what's the catch? Well, the potential downsides are serious enough that government regulators have issued some very specific warnings.
And this isn't just some vague concern. This is a direct quote from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. They found that azithromycin can cause abnormal changes in the electrical activity of the heart. Basically, it can mess with your heart's rhythm, which in very rare cases could lead to a dangerous and potentially fatal situation.
So you really have 2 different categories of side effects. On one side, you've got the more common stuff that many people might get, things like diarrhea, nausea, some stomach pain. But on the other side, you have these rare but very serious FDA warnings. We're talking about the heart rhythm problem, of course, but also things like severe diarrhea caused by a superbug, dangerous allergic reactions, and even the potential for liver damage.
The FDA is also really clear about who needs to be extra cautious. They point to groups like the elderly, people who already have a known heart rhythm issue, or those with low levels of important minerals like potassium or magnesium. It just underscores how critical it is to have a full conversation with your doctor about your health history before you start this medication.
All right, let's zoom out for a minute, away from the pharmacy and the doctor's office. Let's look at this drug's really fascinating history and its role on the world stage.
So, the story of azithromycin doesn't start in some giant lab in the US or Europe. It was actually discovered back in 1980 by a team of scientists at a company called Pliva in Croatia. They patented it a year later, and then, a full decade after that, in 1991, Pfizer brought it to the US market under the name Zithromax.
And its impact has been just massive. Today, azithromycin is on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines. Think about that. This isn't just some random list. It's basically the Hall of Fame for the safest and most effective medicines needed for any basic healthcare system on Earth. That's how important this drug is.
And through their deal with the Croatian company Pliva, it was Pfizer who brought this essential medicine to millions of people, making Zithromax, and especially the Z-Pak, a household name across the country.
So, when you put it all together, what do we have? We have an essential, life-saving medicine, a powerful and remarkably convenient tool, but it also comes with very real risks and therefore a very serious responsibility. And that really leaves us with one final crucial question to think about. With the risks we know about and the growing global threat of antibiotic resistance, are we, as patients and as doctors, using it wisely?